If you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do. All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Arianne. I'm joined here with the lovely Sarah.
Hello.
We have some interesting news for you guys today. First, we're going to start... in relation to October being Mental Health Awareness Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's a lot of awareness.
Yeah, I knew it was breast cancer. Cancer? I guess I knew it was Mental Health Awareness Month, but breast cancer tends to get all the press.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna some topics that I chose to talk about were some mental exercises you can do to keep your brain healthy and strong, and keep a nice state of mind, healthy state of mind. The first topic I'm going to talk about is mental exercises. Have you ever heard of any mental exercises?
I've heard of several different kinds, but we'll see what your list says, and then I'll see if anything I know about is not on your list.
Great. Okay. So they pointed out that the article that I read pointed out that there's 10 mental workouts to keep your mind strong.
Okay.
The first one, use your brain. So,
actually use it.
Exactly. A lot of people have a struggle with that lately. I don't know. Maybe it's just the people I talk to. I don't know. But it's basically like use your brain, meaning like if there's simple problems that you see, like mathematical problems, other thinking problems, use your brain. Don't pull out a calculator. Don't use Google to say, hey, Google, what about this? Try and think it through. Another one was crossword puzzles. I don't do crossword puzzles.
I do crossword puzzles occasionally. My mom's a big crossword puzzle person. I can do them if they're relatively simple, like New York Times. No.
I don't even try that.
But some of the other ones. But yeah, they can be really hard.
Right. I don't understand here's your clue, now figure it out.
Right.
I don't know. Some of the ones that I've seen is like 3-word clues, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Right. Well, and sometimes, once you start doing crossword puzzles, I know that there's a lot of clues and a lot of words that are specific to crossword puzzles that you might not use in your regular life. So you start to build that vocabulary. But yeah, I just haven't done them long enough to have them all in my. You can also get crossword puzzle dictionaries, but I don't have a crossword puzzle dictionary.
You just start talking to people in crossword puzzle language?
Oh, maybe.
Is that a foreign language?
It's like word of the day toilet paper, except it's crossword puzzle language.
Ooh, I like that. I never heard of that. Word of the day toilet paper.
It's from Friends.
I didn't.
Joey had word of the day toilet paper.
Oh, he did he? Oh my gosh! I cannot believe I missed that one.
That's funny.
As much as I love Friends, and I didn't remember that. Another one. Okay, number 3 is Scrabble. I like playing Scrabble. Because you get hints for the words. You can make up your own words, or I mean, not your own. They have to be, actual
right.
words.
There are rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to play Words with Friends a lot, but I've gotten out of the habit.
That one's a good one. My best friend plays that still. She asked me to join on the phone, but that takes too much time. I got stuff to do.
But you're supposed to be using your brain.
I know. Yeah, okay. Number 4 we have here is stay current with the news. And the reason why this one is a good one is because this stimulates your minds as far as like your opinions and thinking about situations that happen in the world that the news talks about, the weather, stuff like that. So I liked that one, even though the news is kind of boring.
Even though the news is kind of depressing.
Yeah,
lately, I don't know. Just feels maybe I can find a news source that's less depressing, more positive.
Yeah.
Does keeping up with weird news count?
I feel like it does, because then you just sit there and question, like, really? Why would that happen? How did that happen?
There you go. Okay.
Where did it happen?
That's a plug for our other show.
Yeah,
Tune into the Weird News podcast to keep your brain healthy.
I like the news shows that are like comedies, like Trevor Noah and John Oliver. Those ones are fun. Because then it keeps, you laugh even though they're, talking about the real problems. Too.
Right.
Number 5 says read anything. You can read anything, just read, because it keeps your mind like pumping, flowing. You also learn. So there's a benefit in reading. Just read anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
I read all the time.
I tell my son, I'm like, you got to read 20 minutes a day. And he's like, does Instagram posts count?
Oh.
I was like, gosh, I can't say read anything and be like, no. I guess they do.
Yeah, although, it's maybe not the depth that you're talking about here.
Exactly. Yeah, because it does say read something with depth, so you do learn something.
Right. And besides emojis and acronyms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, read some caption of somebody, that has a brain. I don't know. That uses their brain. I'm sure we all have somewhat of a brain. Number 6 said do puzzles. I like puzzles. My daughter likes puzzles. I don't like the 1,000-piece puzzles.
Oh, my mom does. She does them in the winter. And the bigger the better. Well, as long as they fit on the table that she has.
Right.
I like puzzles for about 5 minutes. Like, I like to put in one piece and be like, okay, I did that.
I'm done.
Or I can stand there for 20 minutes with the piece trying to figure out where it goes, and then somebody will walk up and be like, it goes right there.
I don't like you. How come I didn't see that? It's very time consuming.
Yes.
So that's why I don't like it, because I get bored really easy with things. So I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. Another one, number 7 was watch movies.
I'm surprised by this one.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
It says movies provoke thought. So depending on the kind of movie. So
right.
Like they gave a list of thought-provoking movies, but I felt like they were really old and I didn't know what they were. So.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess every movie you watch provokes thought in some way, even if it's, oh my gosh, I hate this movie.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
I mean, usually, growing up, your parents are always like, you watch too much TV, you'll rot your brain.
Yeah.
That's not really a scientific basis, though, for rotting your brain.
Yeah, and TV was a lot of people's babysitters back then. Too.
Yeah.
It's like, they're watching TV, they're fine. I like movies that are, documentaries or based on, based on actual events or true stories, stuff like that. Though I really like watching those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Because then it just kind of tells you this stuff really happens, gets you thinking like, wow. Where was I?
Right.
I probably wasn't born yet in all of those, but whatever.
Maybe.
It's still interesting to know. Another one was word puzzles, like logic problems and word finds. I like logic problems. I actually have a game on my phone that's called Logic Problems, and it's so hard.
Yeah, I've tried those as well. I do like word puzzles. I mean, word searches are fine, but I have one on my phone that's like Yahtzee. Have you ever played Yahtzee? Not Yahtzee. Boggle.
Oh yeah.
So you've got a grid. You've got a grid. Traditional Boggle is 4x4, but this mine you can create how many squares you have. So like 10 by 10, and then you can set your time up to like 30 minutes, I think, and then so then you just try to find words that.
Oh wow.
So I like that a lot. I'm much better at that than like crossword puzzles.
Yeah. Well, that's because you get to make your own.
Or Sudoku. I suck at Sudoku.
What? I love Sudoku. I think
really, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I have a thing for numbers. Math was like my favorite subject in school.
Yeah, my husband was looking for something like that on his phone, and I was like, well, try Sudoku. You like numbers, and he couldn't find one challenging enough.
Oh yeah, no, I have that same problem.
He would do them and like, phew,
yeah,
no problem. And I would sit there and stare at it for half an hour. Give me the word problems. He can have the math problems. Right. We're good. We're balanced.
See, there's your team. That's your balanced.
That's
team
right.
There, that's awesome. It's kind of funny too. Another one was not number 9, video games, which I can never tell my son this.
Right? I know. I'm surprised by this one too.
Yeah, it said the video games actually help either prevent or fight. I don't know if it's prevention or kind of like a work your brain so you can remember better, but it prevents or helps fight Alzheimer's, because there's so many things in video games now where you have to remember where things are and how to get back to a certain
and there's
section.
850,000 cajillion, that's a real number, combinations on the hand controls. You've got to push this and hold this and steer,
And multitasking is like brain and hand coordination, to where I try playing video games, my fingers do not move the way I want them to. What was the game I tried to play? My son tried to get me to play that Fortnite. And he's like, "Okay, run forward," and he's like, "You have to move this joystick and move just this joystick." And it just kept looking up and down to the sky, down at the ground. I was like, I don't get it.
I was the one who, even with Nintendo back in the 90s, my brother had a Nintendo, and I would move my entire body to try to get Mario to jump. When he had to jump over a gap or something, I would move my entire body.
So I like flinging your arms,
exactly.
and the controller helps.
It didn't help.
I thought it did. I did that too when I played. Super Mario was my favorite on the PlayStation. What is it? The new not the PlayStation.
The Xbox?
No, it was like the one right after the first one.
Oh goodness, I don't even know.
Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
So that was my favorite. But I did that too.
I was more of the, I would play Jeopardy and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego on the Nintendo.
I like that show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I watch that all the time.
Yep.
But number 10 was have hobbies, because these stimulate creativity and in your mind, so that keeps it healthy also.
Do you have hobbies?
Not really. Well, one of my hobbies is I like to learn new languages. I'm learning French and Tongan right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I
took
like
French
that.
in high school and college, so I know some.
Oh, okay. I'm going to come in and speak French to you.
And
that'll help me.
I might know some. Or I might just stare at you. What?
I'm on a beginner's level, so
good.
I could say hi and tell you what some fruits are. That's
good.
About
Excellent.
Good morning, stuff like that. But and also physical health and eating healthy. I feel like that's a general one with all kind of health that's beneficial. So that was good to know.
I see the one note you have here, the other ways, switching hands when you write.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's wow.
Yeah, that was, I think it's because, the other ways, learning new languages, switching hands while you write, and playing chess.
Sure.
Did I just say chest? I meant chess.
No, I think you said chess.
Yeah, but switching hands would be hard.
My sister broke her arm when she was 5, and she was in traction for a month, and her right arm was in traction, and she learned to write with her toes.
Really?
Yeah, she can't now, many years later, but I thought that was pretty impressive.
That is. She broke both her hands?
No, she just broke her right arm, but she was in traction, so her arm was like hanging at this really weird angle, and so I don't know that it was easy to use her left arm either because of the angle she was laying at. I'm not sure. I wasn't born yet, so
you just heard the story.
Yeah, I can't speak from experience.
Right. That's awesome that she learned how to. I've seen videos of kids who with no arms who know how to drive, write, all that with their feet.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I write with I'm right-handed, but I write with my left hand when I go to the grocery store to sign stuff.
Because you can't. I mean, your signature never looks like.
Really, doesn't matter.
It looks like a drunk chicken wrote it anyway.
Yeah. And the things don't even show up all the way either. When you're signing for your card.
I know someone who writes things like Darth Vader's underpants, or he just writes whatever.
Yeah, well, one of my sisters does that when she goes to Starbucks. They ask your name, and they have to call it out.
Oh, jeez.
She'll be like, "It's Batman with the ER," and it's like, what does that mean?
Batmaner?
Yeah. She'll be like, "You have to say with the ER," and it's just weird, random stuff like that. Jeez. I don't know. She's funny, but these 10 steps. Or 10 mental workouts to keep your mind strong are definitely beneficial. I read that people with strong minds live richer and more fulfilling lives. I like that because I feel like if you're able to control your mind better, think things through better, then you won't stress so much on simple things, things that people might call petty. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk about more mental health and awareness month for October.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome back to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. We are going to continue talking about healthy mindsets for the month of October. It is, what is it?
Mental health awareness.
Mental health awareness and breast cancer awareness month.
Yes.
So another story I read was 3 ways to keep a healthy state of mind. This is kind of hard for a lot of people, from what I understand, because they let things get to them very easily. So the 3 things, first thing is stay positive even in negative situations.
I don't want to.
I know it's hard.
No.
I know it's hard.
That one is hard. I do try, but there are days that test your limits on that one.
Yep. And, that's a hard one too, because sometimes it's like if you get horrible news about yourself, a friend or family member, it's like, where's the positive in this?
Right.
So,
or if you're in one of those phases of your life where it just feels like the hits keep on coming, like every day it's something new. It's really hard to find the positive.
Right. When it rains, it pours, guys.
We're coming up on November, and a lot of people on social media do the month of November as the gratitude, because Thanksgiving is in November, so they'll write like 1 thing a day or 3 things a day that they're grateful for. And I try to kind of do that mentally, even when things are crappy, I'm like, what is good in this day?
I feel like that's helpful too, though, but you shouldn't just be doing it in November.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I try to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout the year.
When you recognize you should.
Right.
I like that one because I try to stay positive in negative situations too. My sister, it bugs her because she's like, how are you not so mad? And I'm like, I'm not. There could be there's worse things that could be happening. A quote that I really like and that kind of helps my sister is when stuff is going not so great. We always say it's not that serious. It is not that serious. Move on. How can we fix this? Or if you can't, move on. But I like that one because it's really hard to do sometimes. But once you're able to see the positive in a negative situation or not so positive situation, it doesn't stress you as much. You're not worrying. I meditate, so that helps. That definitely helps me. It takes a minute. It doesn't happen overnight, but I've been meditating for a while, so I definitely know, how it helps me anyway.
Are you a fan of the movie Pollyanna?
I'm just thinking that movie. What is? I don't even know if I've heard of that.
From the 60s. It's
no. I have to go watch it.
We won't go into it, but there's actually it created the phrase of being a Pollyanna or being Pollyanna-ish. So she has what she calls the glad game, where you try to find some good news in the situation.
Oh, okay.
It's a very simplistic.
I think I've heard that expression. I just never understood what it meant.
Yeah.
Now I got to go watch it.
Haley Mills,
Pollyanna.
Yep.
Okay. The second way to keep a healthy state of mind is manage your worry. So what they said there was people don't really like dealing with bad feelings, especially if it has to deal with like work, friends, or family, or even themselves. They like to just shove feelings aside, put them in a bottle, put them on the back burner, whatever expression you choose to use. But then if you keep doing that, eventually you'll just end up blowing up one day, exploding, snapping on people. It's not a pretty look. So it might even scare some people. But instead of putting those feelings away, try to learn to manage your worry, stress, doubt, and fears is what they say, because being able to recognize and address them when they come helps lessen stress, lessen worry, so you're not staying up all night thinking about what could have been done better in this situation, or what you have to do tomorrow, or what happened at work, or stuff like that.
Right. This makes me think of our conversation last week about communicating with your children about feelings, and if you kind of teach them to express their feelings early, then maybe they won't bottle them up as much.
Right. Teach your kids now, so we don't have to deal with them if they're adults, and the world has to be like, really?
We sound like a PSA. Teach your kids now. The more you know.
The world doesn't want to have to deal with messed up children. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard dealing with ourselves.
True.
But yeah, little by little, try and manage your worry or stress or little thoughts like that. The last one was get some rest. So that's hard for a lot of people, actually, because they stay up worrying and stressing and working all the time. Worry about school, worry about work, worry about their family member that might be going through a rough time, or themselves. So get some sleep.
I even have a friend who just doesn't sit well. It drives her husband and her son crazy because they sit down to watch a movie and she makes it maybe 10 minutes and then she has to be up and doing something. It's like, just let your brain chill out for a minute.
Calm down. Relax. I was going to make a comment, but I might not. Probably shouldn't.
If you can't say something nice, don't say anything. I don't know.
It was a discussion we had earlier about the neighbor.
Oh.
I won't tell you guys about that. Maybe in a future story.
Yeah, that's a different time.
Right. But I understand that a lot of people worry and stress about school, work, other situations. So if you're able to just calm down and just kind of let it go and get some sleep. One of the things I always tell myself is, especially if I'm worrying about something, is if I can't fix it right now, then don't worry about it. Like, let's say I have like financial problems and I'm like, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. Then it's like, but I don't have this money in my bank account. Okay, then don't worry about it right now until you do have that money in your bank account, or figure out a way to get that money. And then figure out how you can fix the situation. But if you can't do anything about it right now, don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Try and get some sleep.
Worry is definitely something that keeps a lot of people up. And even if you can fall asleep, a lot of people have anxiety dreams, which then you don't rest well because you're naked at school or whatever it is that you can't find your locker, even though you haven't been in high school for 30 years, whatever it is.
What I find that helps put me to sleep, what I play for my nephew and my daughter is, they're fifth graders, and I put on like soothing music for them to sleep on, and it puts them to sleep so quick. It's amazing. So I think that helps a little bit. Try it out. If you don't like it, try something else. There's plenty of options and ways to try and relax and get a good night's rest.
But your smartphone is not one of them.
Exactly.
Because Stacy and I did an episode on that a while back, and that, it's not, it actually contributes to insomnia.
Yeah.
The more you spend on your time on your screen at night.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you'll be on your phone scrolling or looking at stuff, and 2 hours will go by and you don't even know what happened.
Right.
Like, what? I was supposed to, done lost 2 hours of sleep, and now you're running on 4 hours of sleep, and that's not healthy.
Yep. Or sleeping with the TV on. Some people like that background noise, but the studies have shown that the light, especially the blue light, is not conducive to healthy sleep.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So they say, sleep makes it so, like, when your brain is rested, you're more productive, and you're able to help yourself and others the next day. So get some sleep, guys.
Unless you have a newborn, and then our thoughts go out to you.
I know. I sympathize. Been there. Okay. So unless your baby sleeps through the night, which, some of you lucky women got that, and I wish I was, but yeah, it doesn't last forever. So keep your guys' minds healthy, and try to be aware of certain situations so you can keep a strong mind, build your mind.
So, we've been telling stories of personal experiences and the things, you mentioned meditation earlier that was the previous segment, but also could help with sleeping and getting a restful mind. One of my nieces went through this phase. She was tiny. She was like 3, and she would get upset, and she would take her hand and rub it in front of her face, like, kind of like the ASL symbol for beautiful, kind of that motion. Yeah. And she would say, calm.
Like that.
I don't know. Nobody knows. Her mom doesn't know where she picked it up. So that was years ago when she was just tiny. And I still think that sometimes I'm like, calm.
Does it help you?
Sometimes, yeah.
I like it.
So,
I like it.
you know, out of the mouths of babes, but really, I wish I knew where she learned it, but she was adorable. And she would do it to other people, too. If you were getting upset, she would do that motion in front of your face and say, calm.
And how do you get mad at that, too?
Like,
So it's
right.
like, okay.
So that's my tip. Find an adorable child to calm you down.
I like it. I feel like it would help. Kids make everybody happy. Or not everybody.
Well-
Some people don't like children.
And sometimes children make you go, oh my gosh, so what are you doing?
Really? Weirdo? No.
But we say it in a loving way.
We really do.
I really do say that to my nieces in a loving way. Weirdo, I love you, and you're weird.
That's amazing, though. You
Yes.
stay weird.
Exactly.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. We have another topic to talk about, which is breast cancer awareness. And at the end of this, I'm going to give you guys 8 tips for better boobs. So, yeah,
interesting.
That'll be fun.
Okay.
So
I have so many comments, but I will wait until we get to the tips.
they're great. They're great. I read them. They're amazing.
Okay.
But breast cancer awareness is all of October. I want to just kind of jump into a little bit of statistics and things that people might not know, and then some myths. So if you don't know what breast cancer is, it's when malignant cells form in the tissue of the breast. Mm-hmm. And you know, everybody is born with breast tissue and breast cells. So men, you guys can get breast cancer too.
One of my professors in grad school had breast cancer.
Yes.
Yep.
It is not just about women and, you know, their problems. But it did say, so I was on the breast cancer awareness, it was like the breast cancer awareness website. Mm-hmm. They said that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
Well,
that's
high.
Yeah, it is. I thought that was too. Especially knowing my birth mother, so I'm adopted, but my birth mother, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and fortunately, she's a survivor of that. So
you're under 40,
awesome.
so you had a mammogram in your lifetime?
I haven't.
Yeah, good times. Let me tell you, I have dense breast tissue. Which, sorry for the TMI people, but it's a health and wellness podcast.
Really
I have dense breast tissue, so it's really hard to get them smushed enough for to get a good picture. So I have to do it more often than other people, just to make sure. Which, I mean, I'm happy to be healthy, but yeah, it's not fun to begin with, and then when they have to squish in different, various, unique ways, yay.
Right. Well, that's what they were saying, that women with dense breast tissue have a higher risk.
Right, because it's harder to see what's just the density of your breast tissue and what's an actual, might be a lump.
Exactly. So they also said that it's an estimated over 252,000 women will be diagnosed in a year, and over 40,000 unfortunately die from it.
Is that just in the U.S. or is that?
It was a U.S. study.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And then even though it's rare in men, a little bit over 2,000 men will be diagnosed, and just over 400 end up dying from it,
wow.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So make sure you do your monthly personal exams. Ladies, ask a spouse or, significant other. I'm sure they're more than willing to help you.
As long as they actually are, paying attention.
Although checking proproperly.
We have a friend who, it was her husband who found the lump because, I don't know, I don't care what he was doing, but he found it. Yeah. Whatever they were doing in the privacy of their own home doesn't matter, but he found it, and that was good.
Up to them. Yeah, and that is helpful too. So, your significant other, if you feel something, please let your partner know, because you could save their life. Some of the myths that I thought were interesting, I haven't heard a lot of these, but some of the myths, only one. I only heard one of these myths. So, what is there? There's a few. One of them said dairy products cause breast cancer. I never even heard of that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Finding a lump means that you have breast cancer, which isn't
Not
always the case.
Not necessarily, but you want to get it checked out.
Right.
Could be benign.
It could. Men don't get breast cancer. I heard that one, which we just learned that they do. Mm-hmm. They can. Mammograms cause breast cancer to spread.
Like spread physically, like it smushes the tumor?
No, I think that their complaint, they've said that because the radiation, it just, spreads it throughout, makes it larger, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah. If there's a family member with a history of it, then you will have it too, it's a myth. It increases your risk, but doesn't necessarily mean that you will also, get breast cancer.
But you should definitely pay attention and make sure you do your exams.
Exactly. One said that breast cancer is contagious. That was weird to me. I was like, what?
How?
I don't know.
I would love to know. Is it airborne? Is it kissing? What does that work?
I don't know. That one was crazy.
Don't be rubbing your boobs up against your fellow coworkers.
Keep them to yourself.
Wow.
One of them said that if the gene mutation BRCA1 or BRCA2 is detected in your DNA, you will definitely get breast cancer. That's just the strand of mutation, but you could be like a carrier and not get it.
Interesting.
Like the common cold, you could be like one of those people that just passes the cold along, even though you're the one who never gets sick. My nephew's like that. I'm like, you keep that mess out of this house.
Yeah, Typhoid Mary.
Yeah. And another one was, which I actually heard about this one, was antiperspirants and deodorants can cause breast cancer or have a contributing factor, which I heard this one. Apparently it's not really true.
Although you now live in the state of California with us where, everywhere you go, there's the sign that says, this facility contains X, Y, and Z that is known to the state of California to cause cancer. So everything causes cancer. Does. I'm sure that there are some deodorants that probably do somewhere, somehow.
That have a factor. And we're going to jump into the last thing that I told you guys I was going to tell you about, 8 tips for better boobs. This is super great. Of course, eat healthy to minimize your risk of breast cancer. And just, yourself in general, but that does minimize it. So that's better, healthy boobs. Check your bra size. This was crazy to me, which I already knew this, because me and my sister kind of check your bra size. Because
it's not hard. I think people think it's this complicated thing, but it's really not. It's just really not. Well, it is math. There's some math involved, but there is. But that we do the math without the calculator, it will help your mental health.
Exactly what we just talked about.
Exactly.
But it said that 70% of women wear the wrong bra size, and this could cause problems with poor posture, skin irritation, breathing difficulties, pain, and sagging.
Oh wow.
And it doesn't really help in the look of your breasts. So get the right bra size, put it on, and they might look their best. I don't know. That's not a hard one to do, though. What is it, like the small tape measure thingy?
Yeah, you measure your band size, your bandwidth, and then you measure around the fullest part of your breasts, and then you subtract, and there you get your cup size.
Yeah. Yep. Exercise, which is given, that's in any health thing. Just exercise, eat healthy. They said this one: fake a perfect cleavage with makeup, not a tighter bra. So they even gave contouring tips. Right. I don't know a whole lot about that, but you can look it up yourself.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, don't squash them into something just to make them perk up.
Right. There's makeup that can help you with that.
Interesting.
Maintain a healthy self-exam routine, and let's see. Don't forget about sunscreen. Oh yes, put sunscreen on your chest. Because this will help prevent sunburn, skin cancer, and wrinkly looking cleavage in your older days.
We've all seen it.
So yeah, that one was crazy to me because I was just like, oh yeah, I forget about that area. I just get the spray sunscreen and just call it good.
I'm extremely pasty, so I try to sunscreen everything.
Right.
Everything.
Wear sports bras because that helps minimize their movement. And if they move around a lot, I read that it could damage the ligaments there. And
plus it hurts. Why do you want them bouncing around?
It does hurt. It's painful. Ladies know. You guys know.
Yeah.
So, Then the last one was improve your posture for, a free breast lift. Improve your posture. Sit up straight. Shoulders turned outward. And, it's good for your, not just your breast, but your posture in general. So...
And I do want one thing, since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There's a lot of memes that go around, and some of them are helpful and some of them aren't, especially for breast cancer survivors. I know that there are a lot of breast cancer survivors who get a little upset with October because, it's all about, save the tatas, or, something like that. And that's
insensitive.
That's cute, but they're like, or don't, if you have to have a mastectomy to save your life.
Exactly.
Let's not put the focus on
saving
the breasts themselves, but health.
So
exactly. Let's try to think things through before you just repost things. Well, try to think that through for everything on Facebook, but
right, or social media. You don't need to post
exactly. Social media, not just Facebook.
Think things through. Mental awareness.
Exactly it all ties together.
With breast cancer awareness. Exactly. Well, that is our show for today. Thank you for listening. Please join us on the next GSMC Health and Wellness podcast.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.